Grand Rising! Welcome to this edition of Rise Up Breathwork with Matt Thomson and myself, Sandy, along with these beautiful puppies. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is our weekly podcast to talk about breathwork and sound healing at the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. I just wanted to say a quick shout out to Jenna, who this past Friday came and did our first ever astrology night. It was super cool. It was super fun. There was a lot of laughs. It was really cool to just kind of laugh at ourselves as we explored the shadowy side of the zodiac, as well as, you know, the more positive attributes to our zodiac: sun sign, moon sign, rising sign. So yeah, Jenna, thank you so much again. That was so fun that I think we're going to ask you to come back in January so that we can set our intentions for the new year. This week at our Friday night group, we're going to be watching a couple of short films about consciousness, and we're going to have a discussion about what consciousness means as the human form that we are in right now. I consider us to be the sacred observers of the consciousness, as nothing would really exist without us witnessing it, you know, right? Because we have to see it to believe it. The dogs are super cute and slightly distracting today. Hopefully they don't knock over one of the crystal bowls. But I think, Matt, once you start, they'll probably settle down like they did last week. So let's see what else is going on. So, oh boy, here we go. So this Saturday we have the Elements Takeover. DJ Furious is going to be taking to the altar at high noon. And of course, if you cannot make it down to 63 Washington Street, you can join us on Twitch TV. So that is an app for your phone. You would search PCSM Church, and you can tune in every week to our DJ service no matter where you are, whether you're doing the laundry or in your car. You can raise the vibration with us. And yeah, Sarah and Christine and Matt and Anna laid out most of the Friday nights for the rest of the year, so I'm going to be working pretty hard over the next week to get those events up. We do appreciate it if you RSVP. That way we just know how many people are coming and how to set up, and if we have snacks, how many people to have snacks for. And yeah, Matt, so breathwork and sound healing. I was thinking about this today. Like, it's kind of amazing to me that like the first 40 years of my life, I walked around not really thinking that much about my breath. I mean, sure, I would take a yoga class and there would be some focus on, you know, the breath, as yoga is the study of relationships. They would always point out the relationship between the movement and the breath. So I was always appreciative of that, but I didn't really take it off the mat very often. You know, I didn't really think about it in everyday life as much as I do now that we've been practicing together. So breathwork has just been an amazing tool for me personally as a way to ground in, to slow down, to sort of just recalibrate, right? Like, just, it's always, you always have a chance to start over every day. And the breath is with you all the time. It's free. So this has been such a gift for me to have this practice with you every single week. So thank you for showing up like you always do. That winning smile. So Matt, so the frequency and the vibration, of the singing bowls and the instruments when you're in person really cannot be duplicated online. But if you are listening online, if you do have a pair of headphones, that often enhances the experience. So we would encourage you to get comfortable, get some headphones, and just find a comfortable place to relax as you receive the vibration from Matt's healing instruments today.
Yeah, the headphones help quite a bit from what I hear from people, so
yeah,
it makes it seem like you're almost here. But I guess some instruments don't come through too well, so that's why I kind of limit it. And some of them I don't play here, but if it's just live, then I do.
Right.
So, yeah.
And if you wanted to say hi to Matt and I think on Sunday we are going to be down at the Arlington Regent Theater. There's going to be a film screening of a production called Music for Mushrooms. And Jamie Morey from Parents for Plant Medicine and another veterans grassroots organization that she founded to, really go up to bat for not just veterans, but, moms and all humans that could benefit from the use of plant medicine. There's going to be a mixer, a meet and greet from 5 to 7 of those who are sort of a little bit more invested, I guess you could say, in the psychedelic movement, as well as just concerned citizens who are interested in the ballot measure that is going to be on our Massachusetts ballot this November. So, it's pretty important just to think about the fact that you might not support or agree with every single part of the 27-page bill. However, once and if it passes, it is a 2-year process to actually enact a bill. And so they'll be having public comment. They'll be asking for mental health therapists, for the community, for people that work in the field to have, a chance to comment, hopefully, and restructure and rewrite the bill to make it so that there's access for everybody and it's not just something for super privileged people, and for people that need the psychedelic experience and like the journey and the facilitator. We're hoping to see that affordable for people that need it. So, just to educate yourself on the bill would be important, and then just to keep in mind that, it's not set in stone even if it passes. If it doesn't pass this year, it won't be able to be put back on the Massachusetts ballot for 6 years. So I think it is worth being part of the conversation, especially if you have benefited personally from either microdosing or, a macro psychedelic experience in the past. Come share your experiences, with those who are curious, and, let's see how we can be part of the change. So yeah, that will be on Sunday, October 6th. The film itself is at 7, but people will be arriving around 5. So I'll try to put something out in the newsletter about that before the end of the week. So if people want to join us, maybe we can carpool, as it is all the way in Arlington.
It's a far drive.
Yeah, so for us on the South Shore, hit me up if you want to go. I'll have room in my car also. So yeah, thank you, Jamie, for the work that you do. Does not go unnoticed. So yeah, so there's, a lot going on politically, a lot going on astrologically. We're in the Libra season, which often is a time to bring balance into our life, as right now the amount of time that we have day and darkness, light and darkness is about equal. I love this time of year, the transition of the seasons. It's a good time to start some new routines as the kids are back in school, and so hopefully you have a little bit more time for yourself. So yeah, Matt, this is one of those practices that I look forward to every week, so thank you again.
You're welcome.
Should I get comfy next to that puppy over there?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Let's see if any of them are lying on top of you by the end of this.
Right, we'll see. It tends to happen.
Yeah, I think, when we talk about like breathing and like sound healing and even I think like even with microdosing too, it helps to release endorphins in the brain. So if when we're battling something that is pulling us backwards, that endorphin release, and it's kind of like what, to me, what is, we always hear people talk about what to be in the moment, but what does that actually really mean, and what's actually really pulling you back from not being in the moment, from the brain chatter and life. So just find a comfortable space, sitting, laying down. And then for a few minutes here, I'm just going to invite you to breathe in and out through the nose. And then to maybe even place a hand on your stomach and just beginning to notice the rise and fall of the stomach. So when you're breathing and we're using our hands, even Aspen's laying on her back, I think, breathing. It's pretty funny looking. Aspen's following the directions. It's so funny looking. Alright.
The other dog doesn't chew that.
So as like instead of thinking about breathing into the stomach, which is difficult for most people, the invitation is just to feel it with your hands. Go into sensation, just feeling the gentle rise and fall of the stomach as we're breathing just with our nose for right now. Just nice, gentle, relaxed breathing with your nose. And if the mind chatter comes back in, can we just refocus to the sensation of breathing? Acknowledge the mind chatter that arises within the mind. And speak to it and just say, hey, I know you're here, but right now I'm going to reshift my focus to the body and breathing. And just as much as possible, like, to fall into the sensation of the body. Maybe putting our focus on the energies of the body. I'm an undecisive puppy dog today. Come here. You want to come back in? And so for for me, sometimes like breathing and or meditation or just quiet time or finding stillness, like whatever, however you want to phrase it, different ways of using this throughout the course of the day. And you hear me say this periodically, like that it's not about like if you need to fall asleep, then your body just needs to fall asleep. But in general, it's not really about falling asleep. It's actually about, for me, it's about becoming more alive in a very relaxed state with a focus of being really present. I'm beginning to find out that the more present we are, I feel like it releases more endorphins. Like you almost, like there's a certain sensation of being high, I guess is a way to put it, when you're in like a real state of presence, where there's no thoughts of anything at all of past or future. And actually the one dog has helped me, like I've been feeling a sense of, because as we shift through life and things are presented to us, like why are things being presented to us? What are we learning from this person, from this event that just happened? And so for a while now, I've been kind of shifting into this state of like slowness that's been quite interesting. But Aspen, I've had her like for a week now, and she has actually taught me a different state of slowness and patience. She kind of like up-leveled that sensation for me, or it has been in the last like 8 days. Because everything that we experience is all just gifts. So do we see the gift, and are we capable of receiving? And so an invitation now to inhale through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and on your exhale with the mouth, through the mouth, to exhale down to nothing, if you can do that. Then how is this feeling for you now? Like what, as you're transitioning to the nose-mouth breath, like what are you noticing within your system, within the body? Like, is there anything that you notice, Sandy, that you could, like, verbally put a word or two to?
Just that my heart rate has slowed down.
Okay, slowing down to the heart rate. And I think that's actually really profound that she said that, because, like, when we are in this state, like, the chest and the heart really begin to become more expansive, and we do come to a place of where the heart almost feels like it's not beating anymore sometimes. And so what's interesting here is that the things that are pulling you back, so it could be a tobacco habit, it could be someone upset you, it could be if you are really into the politic thing and you see a sign maybe that upsets you. People seem to get triggered by that stuff pretty quickly these days. Maybe you're trying to cut out sugar and you're really craving some sugar. So, anything regardless of how major or small it is, it really doesn't matter, because if it has a string attached to us and it's pulling us away from the moment, I also feel like the first thing, if we really bring our awareness and our focus to what's happening when we see that sign, or my brain is like, I really want a chocolate bar, I really want this or that, whatever. Then if we refocus, like, what happened to our heart in that space? Maybe it closed up, maybe it's speeding up. And that's why you hear me talk about, like, breathe, like, not just now and here, but if you're at war with something and you want to drop it, so that you can really become in a state of presence unlike anything you've ever felt or been to before, then we're at war. You're at war with your energy. And so we're allowing for it to take us away out of the moment, to disrupt our relaxed flow, even while moving about or conversing or at work. It doesn't really matter. We can be in a really beautiful, calm flow. Doesn't matter what you do for work. It doesn't matter how many people you're even around. Our response is always up to us, no matter what. Now in imitation, as we're inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth, if something's pulling you back and it's just like, I really don't want to do this, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of thinking about it too much, do a double inhale into the stomach. We did a little bit of a double inhale last week, but just double inhale. And then just really exhale out fully out through the mouth, like what we've been doing. And this is the quickest way. You don't have to be specific on how you're inhaling, just like, because sometimes when we're in the moment, just double inhale. And really exhale everything out, and do that like in real life when moving about. To do it 2 or 3 times. Right now, maybe just practice it maybe 5. And then just drop into how you feel. Maybe feeling a little bit more relaxed than what you may have already been. This is the quickest way by far to really regulate our system. Calm it down. What about this? Imagine this within your mind. Like, just imagine and focus on how's your body feeling right now? Okay, now imagine within your mind things that you have to do today. So just for a moment, just allowing for a positive thought process of things that are occurring within your day today. And then as you think about these different things, imagine being in this state of relaxation while you're engaging with life. So bring in this state of relaxation and calmness to our system. Maybe a slowing down as we meet the different events that will occur today. And so some we know that are going to happen, and so we can focus on those. What would it be like to drive in this state? What would it be like to support a loved one, a child, partner, family, co-workers, friends, whatever? What would that be like to meet them from this space, from this power, from this energy? Now imagine the state. What if we could bring in the state to like a craving or something that pulls us out of our flow? What if we could find or even release some dopamine, like through breathing? What if you are microdosing? What if we could even mix in the breath with the microdose to help enhance that effect of rewiring like the brain? Being able to look at situations and things maybe with a different viewpoint without letting the energy of the body take control. Because if we tighten up, the heart races, the chest closes, the throat closes, whatever it is, that's when the body, the emotional body, is giving in to the thought process of the brain. So the brain is going down that rabbit hole of, I need to go do this right now, or I'm feeling this state of anger, or whatever it is, right? Whatever string is pulling you back. This is how the mind, this is like the body, like shutting down. This is how it's reacting to our thoughts. So we have a choice. We can bring in the breath and equalize out or neutralize our nervous system a little bit. Or we give in. That's why I always call it like, it really is like a battle. It's a war with our system. It is quite amazing to me how many things outside of me I rely on to relax. It's not quite as high as many things anymore, but there's still some stuff around. I feel like we always need to be entertained in some way. So just like if you did come down to the shop or a Wednesday night or joined us here on a Tuesday, I could actually have you stand behind this gong even before we get started if you came in here a little frazzled. And if I just had you close your eyes and stand behind here and just did this. That's immediately going to change the vibration with inside your entire body, particularly when you're standing right behind it, because it just goes right through you. You don't really have a choice at that point. It's almost like this vibration, this sound, is no different than if you were to smile right now. Because as soon as you bring a smile and we focus, like if we can like focus our mind on things that can help us, because like to quiet our mind and to come to a place where we're of less thought and less words takes time. And so sometimes, like if we focus on, okay, let's just smile and let me focus and use words to feel the energy. How's that smile feel on my jawline? Can I feel the growth of the energy spread throughout my face? Can it spread down to my heart or spread to a space that doesn't feel too good right now? And if we are able to slow down and use the breath and really like just become more present, then we can start to see So here's an example of what I talked about earlier. So the old version of Matthew, if I was walking Aspen, I would have been really frustrated, using a lot of words, and making her hurry up to catch up to me because, you know, just too selfish. But, and even as I felt that come up within me, I just like was able to step back and be like, okay, she's actually showing me something here. What is it? And so I was seeing this old version of myself, And I was seeing this version of myself now where I've been trying to slow down, and then I'm seeing the version of me that she's trying to wake me up to. Like, she came into my life at this point to show me that next level of appreciating the present moment at a higher level or a higher sensation or whatever, just being more present at a much deeper level. And so it's been really beautiful, like particularly the last couple days, because I've been really able to allow for that at a very different level and allow for her to be exactly what she needs to be, instead of the older version where there would have been a lot of stress and being like, come on, let's go. Where are we going? Nowhere, really. We're just out enjoying nature. So, is it possible, can I see the gifts of what's laid out in front of me? Can you see that? Am I in a state of presence well enough to be able to see? Because if we're not really present with something, then how are we going to see it? Just like, how would I have seen and even comprehended the gift that this dog was giving me if I couldn't slow it down and be present with her and really look to receive the gift and to understand it, to intuitively allow for the English language to come into play and be like, it's this, stupid. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Because the reality of it to me is that everything's a gift. Everything that's, people might use words like, that was horrible, I can't believe you went through that, to whatever it is in life, like everything, literally everything that's ever happened to you and is going to happen to you in every moment is always, everything is a gift. And when we can start seeing that, then at that point we can start recreating and ending the looping and create something new. I remember talking to someone a couple days ago, and they were like talking to a psychologist, like 2 different psychologists, and blah blah blah, and this and that, and that. And I just looked at him and I was like, you're only doing this because it's the energy in the thing that you know. That's it. It's that simple. It's either we make a choice to keep feeling the energy that we know, that's super comfortable, but also at the same time that energy is very uncomfortable. It's super comfortable, but it's creating stress, anxiety, and I can't even be present with myself because I'm in this rabbit hole, but it's the energy of what I know. So no matter how crazy the energy of what I know is, it's still what I know. And until I make a conscious choice, like what Sandy was just saying, consciously, like if I consciously recognize, like, oh, I'm diving into the rabbit hole of insanity with this thing right now. And so even why I say like consciously breathe. So if we consciously become aware of the energy, we consciously bring in the breath, maybe the double inhale, the long exhale, and then we consciously reconfigure the energy, see the gift, seek the gift out, and then reconfigure the energy and start reconfiguring it into something that's more useful, one that actually serves us. But the one that doesn't serve us, it's still home for many of us in many different ways. And so when I said that to this woman who does get this stuff, she just looked at me and was like, whoa, it really is just that, it's that simple. It's like that easy. It's like, yeah, it actually is. But for as simple as it is, like to consciously connect with that, it's also one of the harder things to do when we try to reconfigure and change an energy of something. And she's like, why couldn't anyone else have figured that out? Because like the psychologists and other people were having her do it like these other things, and she was just like, that's nothing what I need to do. What I need to do is just reconfigure this energy, what it is. It's amazing how many years I sat in such deep misery. It blows my mind away nowadays. You know, I remember talking to one of the members here, I think over the weekend. I don't remember where we were. And maybe it was at the wedding. And I just remember saying like, oh man, I used to really dislike the sound of the birds so early in the morning. And he looked at me, because we were talking about like early morning stuff. And he was like, well, why is that? And I was like, because I was still sitting using from all night. And maybe I was even on like day 3, 4, 5. I even would go 10, 12 days in a row of using. And then every morning that would come up, you would always, for some reason, I'd always hear the birds singing. Always. Even if I was in a crack den, whatever, and I was in there for 6 days, but when that sun started to crack, even though we couldn't see it, but I would always hear the birds. And it just always told me that another day was passing. And I used to always really get frustrated with that. But now, in this life now, like, there's nothing more beautiful than the early song of the birds and animals in the morning. But before, it was an energy of, oh, I'm going into another day of doing this again and falling deeper into that insanity. It's just kind of weird. But it shows like a change in the energy of something that simple, just birds singing in the morning. Because it used to mean this, and now it just means joy. Or lucky enough to have an opportunity to enjoy an early morning. So just gently bringing yourself back. Apologies for going a little bit over. I had no idea what time it was. And gently just kind of bringing yourself back into your space, moving your body, shifting around a little bit. And as you move through this day, like, are you willing to create a pathway to your heart in feeling into, is it open or closed? How did the heart change or that space change with a moment as you move through this day? And can you maybe feel into that to not get pulled back into a rabbit hole of whatever? Because the rabbit hole is not always just thinking. Right? Any comments on that stuff, Sandy? Anything alive for you that you want to share? You don't have to. I'm just.
Oh, my knees are stiff.
Yeah, a little stiff getting up there.
A little stiff, yeah. Well, I guess like what kind of just came to mind was just sort of like the smile exercise and how it kind of relates to how you show up
Yeah.
in the heart. Because it's like, you know, if you're in a mood and you're just like, you know, this is how you're presenting to the world.
Yeah.
It's because you're just like, oh, here we go, another day.
Exactly.
You know, versus like, even though I might not be in the best mood, still put kind of on a happy face. Not to say like fake it, but like, you know, it is a good tool for just like, it does change the whole energy of like your body, you know, just the way you present your face.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so bringing in the smile again today, you know, again, it does, it changes your brain, it changes your physiology. They say it does take less muscles to smile than it does to frown. However, if you look around, you wouldn't know that because I feel like more people do tend to have resting bee face or whatever, you know, when they're concentrating or whatever. So yeah, I've been trying to do that more, just like being aware of the fact that my kids are like watching me on the computer or watching me on the phone or watching me drive, like, you know, just kind of like turning the corners of your mouth up and how that affects your brain and the chemicals that your body releases or your brain releases. It's real, you know, so it is an easy way to sort of try to change the course of your energy or your day, how you present. So yeah, it's a good thing to think about. Put on a happy face.
I can say it every podcast almost, and it's probably amazing even to you a little bit how hard it is to remember to do that sometimes.
It is. No, it is.
You know,
it
and I
is.
think that's part of the trick is like even maybe why this Friday night's good, like that we talk about like consciously, like what are we doing consciously? Like how is being like super conscious of stuff, like how can we use that to change our lives and, you know, create something different.
Yeah, and how non-ordinary states of consciousness can also affect, you know, like how we then show up in our everyday life too.
Yeah,
so whether that's
exactly.
with breath work, with, you know, other stimuli.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll dive deep into that. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna make some
That'd be
popcorn. I've got some pretty famous popcorn that I make.
Oh, really?
Thanks to my best friend Mary. I put that nutritional yeast on. I'm gonna do a vegan one if Anna comes because she can't have butter. So I'll do a vegan and a non-vegan, and maybe some hot chocolate too.
I was wondering that. I saw something the other day, like vegan and non-vegan popcorn. I'm like, how can popcorn be vegan and non-vegan?
Well, because you just don't use butter. You use avocado oil, and I use salt and nutritional yeast.
Okay.
Yeah, for some extra B vitamins.
Oh, because
Butter is, well, you know, some people just have a sensitivity in this group,
Okay.
so that's fine. But I like it both ways. I actually prefer to have butter and oil, but that's just me.
There you go.
I'm crazy.
You can do a third bowl that way.
Right? Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully I see some faces on Friday night and Saturday. And tomorrow we'll be doing our 1 o'clock midweek reset with Anna here at 63 Washington Street. So come down and stretch and breathe with us if you feel so inclined. And you can find out more about our events at pcsam.org. Thank you again for your support, everyone who's become a member, and we will see you next week. Same place, same time.
Have a beautiful